Sup Shredders, my name is Logan aka Spiderhands and welcome to SP Reviews, where today we have ourselves a track by an act named Beth Vandal titled Runaway. And if we switch over to here, we have the track on the screen here on Spotify. We're going to listen through this track from start till finish. We're going to hear what we think. It's my first time with Beth Vandal and we'll see how we go. Let's get into it. Let's do this. I like those guitars at the start. Nice panning of them on the side with the hi-hats. Oh. Dope tune. Dope intro theme. The pop punk theme from like the mid 2000s. Octave chords on the guitar are nice and bright. Yeah, nice phrasing here, leaving space in the mix for us to appreciate the instrumental backing, whilst Beth's got this vocal fry that's coming in that's really nice and fits well with the oral aesthetic that we have going. Those drum fills are phenomenal, dude. I love the action there and how well we've considered the overall arrangement of it, because it's smart to not have those guitars behind Beth in their frequency spectrum and in that range, because they will match some of the range that she's in. Having those toms there which are below it and a non-melodic or harmonic element allow the two to contrast more succinctly and successfully. I like that. Was it a parallel major that we had there at the end of that? It was kind of dreamy, but there's also that dissonance there associated with distorted tones. But the mixing and mastering is done well. It sounds very professional. It's polished. It's got a great overall vibe to it. Yeah, no, it's make me go crazy. It's interesting. Runaway. I'm gonna listen through the story to really get a track of how the song flows, but I'm enjoying my time with it so far. I just love how, even though the vocals are obviously a central focal point of the song, especially given it's a single, and predominantly what I can see here is I've got a few other singles such as Memory and That I Am. We're allowing the rest of the elements to have their own space. I think that's really considerate, and there's a great chemistry between the people involved. Can't point the finger at me when you made your own bed. Dope line. Dope line, I dig it. Talking about a ticking time bomb. Talking about Runaway in general. It sounds like there's about to be a terrible situation. Everybody's just enjoying a sense of mild escapism, or maybe not necessarily enjoying it, but... Take a look at me. It says, is that a bridge? Are we splitting into a double cut chorus, or have we got a bridge and then a chorus? Dude, this is so much to appreciate here. The story is coming through clearly. It sounds like someone who's maybe in a situation with someone else where they may or may not be in a relationship. Maybe they're dancing around it. And you've just got this person just saying, look, I actually don't owe you anything. I am just a human being who's choosing to spend my time with you. And you need to just appreciate and respect that for that alone. Don't, if you can't handle it, it's I dig that vibe. I dig that assertion there, A lot of people get into toxic situations because they feel like they owe other people stuff when they don't. And back to that chorus. Cool. This is going to be stuck in my head for the next few days. Just that lift at the end there, along with the catchy vocal melody. The tone of that bass guitar is phenomenal as well. There's a bit of mild distortion on it, but it just resonates so nicely with everything else. The studio side of things is fantastic. It's hard to get the bass to sit like that well. Nice call and response here. Dude, that end part, incredible. You're making me crazy, and then she just screams at the end. Like, wow, dude. My goodness, that's insane. Because this is my review of Runaway by Beth Vandal. We have ourselves a musician and artiste here who clearly understands the journey she's going on with her music and the brand, the style that she is paying homage to. And this track is a phenomenal first introduction to me for what, you know, she's all about. I'm not sure if she's responsible for literally all of it, but it doesn't matter either way. I'm having a great time. Beth Vandal, a conclusion. You know, the story, again, I think it's about someone who is just maybe messed with by someone else, and they've just realized maybe that they don't owe this other person anything, and they're sick of the BS, and they just want it to stop. They just kind of want to run away from it and kind of find somewhere where it's not as chaotic and terrible. That's my interpretation of the story anyways. The vocals here, especially at the end where she screamed into the microphone like that, I don't know whether there was some filtering or post-processing involved in that, but that scream was visceral. Such a fantastic and honestly original way to end it. I haven't really heard many people use that type of style, especially right at the end. It's just something we hadn't heard from Beth, and she elevated it another step further. Clearly a singer who understands music theory and arrangements and scale stuff, but also understands the value of having catchy, memorable, melodic hook lines that have a great sense of repetition with the rhythm in them, but never become stale at the same time. Part of what, even if you have like a formulaic approach to how you do your vocals, what makes it special is often the emoting and the feel put behind it, quote unquote. And what Beth Vandal knows so well is again that vocal fry and the deliberate and sort of nature of the way she communicates. There's no sort of skirting around it. That this is serious stuff that she really cares about, and you can tell that angst and anguish and frustration is evident throughout this performance. We also have someone who clearly, you know, really cares about their music. That the structuring of this track is phenomenal. You had those really quick bridge sections between the verse and choruses with those really interesting instrumental motifs there with the octave chords, the fantastic variety with the drum fills as well. The instrumentation was sensational, and the percussion was great. We had a few arpeggiated guitar lines, but honestly, a lot of the focus for me was in like the bass and the drums and stuff like that. The guitars were always supportive of the vocals, but the vocals were obviously still the star of the show. There's just a lot in here to really appreciate, and I say this without necessarily, I suppose, holding back is a word. This is an artist who you need to pay attention to. If they continue to release music like this, they can have a future for themselves, and I really hope they can make the most of what they've got here, because as someone who is a non-biased music reviewer and who does that professionally as a job, I don't have to say nice things about music. I have been visceral and almost brutal with my criticism of music in the past. This is something that is really special, and again, well done. You know, I'm going to have this in my head for the rest of the day. Really catchy vocal lines, really interesting music instrumental parts. The performances themselves were phenomenal. You know, I could tell all the instruments were recorded live. There's a nice dynamic range to them, as well as the differences in the feels, the individual parts. I think for the track to be like 2 to 4 minutes was a great choice. Any longer than this, I don't think we would have necessarily benefited from it, so the time frame was great. The post-production, recording, mixing, mastering was phenomenal. It's commercial grade. This is ready for release. EQing, stereo panning, the effects change in the various instruments, you know, dynamic range there, no overcompression, you know, the padding of different bits. There's a bit of automation there occasionally, a little bit of extra post-filtering and stuff. You know, it's all there. You got everything you need for a successful release, and I hope, again, final time I say this, I wish Beth Vandal the best of luck in future. I think that she's probably going to be fine. But this is my review of Runaway by Beth Vandal. If you enjoyed this, please do go show Beth Vandal some love via her various social medias and her Spotify page. Stay cool and stay safe, and please also remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time. As the hell more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on in the world, and I will catch you in the next review. Spiderhands Out.